when people think of the best performing stocks, they often think of the Mag 7, the Apples, the Metas, the Googles, Nvidias of the world, right? I don't think a lot of people realize just how good Home Depot has been, specifically since after 2008 financial crisis and the lows in 2009. I mean, we can see it's beating the S&P 500 over the last 5 years. S&P 500 is up about 90%. Home Depot's up 100%, and they pay a substantially larger dividend at over 2%. Yeah, but anyways, talking about those lows in 2009, right? You're up from 23 up to 425. That is very, very, very good. But also, they paid a sizable dividend, I think, mostly throughout that. So if you reinvested dividends in Home Depot at lows in 2007, 2008, 2009, right, you would have done like phenomenally. I think you would have, there was definitely points over the last 5, 6, 7 years where if you looked at it, you would have outperformed Apple. Clearly, Apple has been one of the best companies in the world. So I don't think people realize just how good Home Depot has been. Clearly, it's one of the largest companies in the world. It has a $423 billion market cap. So this is one of the largest companies in the entire world. And they do so well mainly because of the business they're in. Obviously, they do home building stuff, but also they do a lot of work with contractors specifically and that sort of stuff. So it's more than just, I need to repair some drywall, go to Home Depot. They do a lot. Almost every home that is built, right, there is Home Depot, stamped on it somewhere. Not obviously, there's many different cases, right? But with Home Depot specifically, it is so important to the home building. Also, this has not been a specifically good time for home building, right? It just hasn't, right? Since rates have been rates have been high, they're now lowering, which is why it's kind of been on a decent run. But now that rates were high during this period, especially since 2021, there's just not a lot of home building during that because no one was buying, couldn't get loans, or if they could, they were, not great. So they've done very well in a time that has not been good for their specific industry, which inspires more confidence, right? So we can see PE is a bit expensive, right? It's not crazy, but I mean, PE is closer. S&P 500 PE is 27. However, forward PE is a little bit worse, right? Because S&P 500 forward PE is 23. So if we're looking at it as face value, right, their forward PE has a significant, 30, 35% off the top of my head. I'm probably off there. So you're paying a premium for Home Depot compared to the S&P 500 in terms of value. However, right, this is a stock that has done very, very, very well, right? I was trying to load the 5-year chart, but Yahoo seems to have died on me. But like I said, if we go to lows in 2007, 2008, 2009, this is a company that has continued to destroy the S&P 500 in terms of performance. So it should not be surprising when you have a company that is above its PE, right? It shouldn't be surprising when this is the case. I don't know if you'll ever be able to buy Home Depot significantly discounted to the S&P 500, assuming the company continues to do well. I hope it does, right? Because then that's not good for me, particularly if it's like super cheap to the S&P 500. But if you are, anyone would buy this company valued at the S&P 500 levels. Almost everyone. Obviously, that's an exaggeration. But the point is, you aren't going to be able to always find great companies at discounted rates. Sometimes you can, but not always, right? And usually not when those specific companies are doing well. Usually it's because, we have a poor earnings, we're going to have a bad year, whatever it may be. That's how stocks work. So personally for me, I own Home Depot and I love it. It's one of my favorite stocks. I've done pretty well on it. Not phenomenal. It's not my best, but I've done pretty well on it. Obviously, this is not investment advice. I would absolutely be buying Home Depot at this price. The reason I'm not is because I own enough of it, right? So that should explain it to you. Schwab agrees with me in the short term. I invest in stocks as a long-term outlook, 3 to 5 years. Schwab really likes it in the short term. They think the 1-year performance will be in the top 5% of all stocks performing over the next year. That is really good. They reiterated that 7 days ago. I don't do 1-year outlooks like I said, but if it inspires confidence that this is a good business, they think it'll be one of the best performing stocks, right? Not just a good one, a best. So probably upwards of 15% when you count dividends, right? Although I don't want to put words in their mouth, usually a top 5% stock is going to do very, very well, right? So Morningstar, they give it a 1 star, but then say the economic moat is wide, which is a little bit interesting, but I need to dive a little bit more into what these stars mean. but they agree it's a wide economic moat, which I absolutely do. If you don't understand what economic moats are, I just covered that video on this channel a couple of days ago. That is just their competitive advantage, right? So 3 stars there, buy, long, buy. Decent ESG score. Let's look at this dividend real quick before I forget. Yeah, I mean, look at that. 29%, 16, 32, 10, 10, 15, 10. So it looks like they're trying to, well, part of it is, this is one of those rare exceptions of a dividend company that gives a good enough dividend, but it's not necessarily just giving you the dividend, it's compounding share growth on top of compounding dividend, right? Because even though this dividend was increasing dramatically like you saw, it's not just because they're trying to derive more profit by paying out the dividend, meaning they're, okay, we're going to transition from, okay, instead of growing 10% this year and paying a 1% dividend, we're going to pay a 3% and grow 7%, something like that. And that's not exactly how it works, but just picture that, right? Home Depot is just, their dividends increasing so much because their business is increasing so much, right? They're increasing 10% every year, so their dividends getting hiked 10% every year. And you rarely see that. You just rarely do, because usually stocks that are growing like dramatically, they don't focus on paying a dividend. However, Home Depot is good enough they can do it. So Home Depot is one of those rare stocks where they are compounding the share price and they're compounding the dividend, right? So if you expect this growth over the next 10 years, you'll still have a 2% dividend, but the dividend will be a lot higher than it is now, right? Let's take a little bit of a quick look at what some analysts have to say. I would look at the historical PE, but there's nothing going to be too crazy there, right? So a couple of people say strong buy. It looks like 13 people are saying, hold or underperform. And then the 27 rest of them are saying buy or strong buy, right? I don't give these ratings, but I think this is pretty good for a company. There's obviously a lot of analyst ratings, but, over 2/3 of, or right around 2/3 of analysts saying buy is a strong performance. Although, price, what do they call that? Price targets are right around where we are right now, and that's because this stock is hitting highs. So I love Home Depot. I love this stock so much. Obviously not investment advice, but I would be buying at all-time highs if I did not have this stock, because I absolutely love it. So obviously you guys decide what to do with that. This isn't a stock that's, buy the dip, but usually when stocks are dipping, it's because things are doing bad, and Home Depot is doing particularly well. So anyways, I appreciate all of you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, I appreciate if you left a like, subscribe if you are new and enjoy my content. I do daily stock content on this channel. Also, whenever anyone subscribes, I notice YouTube continues to recommend my content out more. It really helps the channel. They're like, hey, people enjoy this guy, and they keep pushing it out. So if you hit that subscribe, it really does help me out. But I appreciate you all for watching this video, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.